Okay, so I've started getting this stuff out for my tea lights, and what I've decided to do is just go ahead and prep for making tea lights in bulk, because I am going to be running a giveaway on my other channel for email sign up. So I'm going to go ahead and prep for that today, and that will probably be the end of the video for today. And then starting next week, for you guys, I'll be making a few more products that you guys can, I'll bring you guys along and you can see what it is that I'm doing or what I'm making and all of that. For me, it'll be tomorrow, and I'll try to go ahead and have everything prepped, like all of my fragrance oils, making sure that I have all of that situated. I also need to make sure, which is another issue that well, it's not necessarily an issue, but, and I think I mentioned it in a previous vlog, now I have, which I completely forgot about, but now I only have the one, my one melter. I still have not ordered. I'm still kind of on the fence about whether or not to order, but I only have the one melter, which means anytime I either have to, number one, change out the oil that's in there, which I definitely don't want to do that every time I get ready to switch over, just say from a candle to maybe wax melts. So I try to use everything out of there first, and then I'll go to the next thing, and that way I'm not constantly switching, and I hope that makes sense. I think what I'll do is go ahead and place an order for a new melter, and that way I'll have all of my wax for my candles in one, and then my wax for my I can't think. The wax for my candles in one, and then I'll have the wax for like my melts in the other, and that will help simplify things for me a lot. I may also do some room and linen mist on my next week's vlog. So if that sounds like something you guys are interested in, make sure you check it out next week. We'll definitely be making well, I say a ton, but we will be making some things. So let me go ahead and get some of this stuff done, and I will see you guys in just a bit. Some of these are already pre-made. It's because the last time that I made them, I just went ahead and whipped a bunch of them, and I ended up not needing them. So I've already cleaned these out. Here I am just taking out the tea light containers or tea light cups and spraying them, cleaning them once again, just to make sure that my wick stickers adhere to the bottom of the cups. But I figured if you've seen me clean one, you've seen me clean 50. So I just kind of sped through this part for you. That's okay if you accidentally. Just put it back on there when you get done. Is it okay?
Mama, why is this sticking? Why is it sticking, Mama?
Because there's stickers that I need.
Can you put one on someone?
Probably. Okay, so I am trying to decide. I can't even remember where I saw this, but I got this nail polish rack because I have, y'all, I have so many fragrances. Like, I have at least 3 boxes of just like small fragrances, the sample sizes. So my plan for these, and I don't know if it'll work, I'm hoping it does, but my plan for these is to put my smaller sample sizes in these. So I could just have a line of them like this. I don't know if you guys can see that. So this will be filled and it'll be hanging. I prefer to have it hanging closer to my melter, but I'm thinking now I may have to wait until I get the new melter in, because I may have to transition all of this down a little bit, and I don't want to have it hanging and then have to move it. Definitely don't want to double work. So that's what I was doing, because I have a little helper in here with me. If you can't find it, don't worry about it. No, that's fine. You can just leave it and just do the rest of them. I have a helper that's helping me. But as soon as he is done, I will go ahead and get those whipped up, and I think we'll call it a day. I think. I don't know. I have to see if there's something else I can get done.
With me? With my help?
And this is what happens when you try to wick with gloves on. They get stuck and you can't get them off without ripping it and making a big mess out of it. So that is that.
Here I am just wicking up my wicks, adding the wicks to the actual wick stickers so that I can place them inside the tea lights so that I can go ahead and get those poured up.
Okay, so I have everything all clean, wicked, for 8 of my scents, I think. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Yes, 8 of my scents, 2 summer scents, and then 6 of my everyday collection. So what I'll do is go ahead and end the video here. Tomorrow, which will be next week for you guys, I'll finish this up along with a couple of other sample products that I'll be either giving away or sending to people in my shop. So until the next video, guys, bye. Hey guys, so I know it has been a minute. I am overdue on this video, but I have good reason. The last time that I recorded, actually like a day or two after I recorded, I got really sick. I had like some type of sinus infection. I lost my voice. I couldn't talk. So of course I couldn't do any videos. So hopefully I'll be able to get you guys 2 videos this week. So if I am not mistaken, my last video, and I am in a different, well actually I'm not in a different location, I'm just on the other side of my island. Normally I have you guys swung the other way, but today we are on this side because the last time that I recorded I was making tea lights. And I did not finish those because it was really late. I was tired, didn't get it done. But let me swing you guys around and I can kind of show you what I've done, and I can kind of talk about what I am planning to do. We can have a bit of conversation about some of the things that I've been thinking about as a small business owner, and some of the decisions that I have to make. And it may be some things that you guys are facing as well. So let me first show you what I've done and kind of give you the gist of that, and then we can jump into the next thing. Okay, y'all, you have to excuse the lighting. So these are the tea lights that I have done. As you can see, I try to keep everything categorized out. And I still have not received my new, well not new, but the additional fragrance oil that I have ordered for my 7th scent. Yes, I do have, I don't know if you guys can see me. You probably don't want to see me anyway. I look terrible. But I have 7 scents in my initial collection, which is my everyday collection. The tea lights that I have here, I have not decided whether or not I am going to do a tea light collection, which will give you your choice of, I think the box will hold 6. So I haven't decided if I want to do that still, or if I just want to give these out as samples. So one other thing that I did want to go ahead and point out here. Once I make my scent, what I typically do is I have just a paper towel. I flip the container upside down, and it'll have, that way all of the wax will, the majority of it will come out, and then I can just throw this away. It does not get all of the wax out. As you can see, there is still some, but it's not nearly as much as it would be if I didn't flip it upside down. And I do try to keep everything together. My pouring pot and my scent. So I do try to keep everything together when I am making whatever it is that I am making. And that just makes it a lot easier. So that is what I've done since we last met. So let me swing you guys back around and I'll show you what I plan to do next. That is what I have been up to. And I guess moving forward, what I wanted to talk to you guys about. So I have been thinking about my current situation. The reason that I even, I guess, technically relaunched or renamed my business to Seasons Redefined is because I did not want to follow in someone else's footsteps. I want to create my own. I want you guys to do the same. And what I mean by that is we see these posts on social media where people launch these businesses and they're so successful and they're just doing the damn thing. Well, for me, my road has been bumpy. I've had so many different, not necessarily setbacks, but I wanted to launch my business last year in March. And it was just one thing on top of another thing. I got a new job, which was great. Well, I got a different position, same company, and that was great. And there was a learning curve, so I could not focus on this. My husband was deployed. So that was, again, an adjustment for my family. But one thing that I did want to do, because it was something that was important to me, was launch my business. This is something that I love. You know, I really enjoy getting in here, making things, creating things. And so I wanted to redefine how we do things. We don't have to do things the way that someone else has previously done it. And that's kind of what I wanted to talk to you guys about. So I was sitting here, I was thinking, you know, after, you know, I've been sick for a while and not being able to get in the studio and do some things that I needed to get done, I was getting really, not necessarily depressed, but I was getting stressed about when am I going to launch? When is this going to happen? When is that going to happen? And so I was thinking, well, maybe my approach is not just going straight into retail. Maybe I should do wholesale first. So I'm bringing this up not to say, oh, I'm not going to, you know, sell to the general public. I'm bringing it up to say to you guys, we as a whole need to think outside of the box. We don't have to do what someone else has done to get to a certain point. Your path or your road may not look like mine, and vice versa. So with that being said, you know, I just kind of wanted to bring that up just to say, I don't know. It may be a little bit easier for me considering what all I have on my plate. If I could just devote a day or two to making whatever products I need to make, and then, you know, making sure that I have that supply on hand for wholesale orders. I don't know. That's just something that I've been, you know, toying around with the idea. So I don't know. Let me know what you guys think. You know, have you thought about doing wholesale? Anyway, as you can see, that, you know, that was just one thing that had, you know, I've been thinking about. And then just the fact that, you know, with retail, you have to advertise. You have to do all of these things that I simply just don't have the time to do. What I really want to do is just sell my products. I want to, you know, that's what I truly love doing. You know, all of that back end stuff, I could do without it. I wish I could afford to have somebody do it for me. Not necessarily that I want to be hands off, but anyway. moving right along, the other thing that I had on my list, I actually had a couple of things on my list. I don't know if I'm going to be able to get to them. One of the things that I had on my list was refilling my blended scents. So this is my homesick. So give me 1 second. I know the last time, well, several videos ago, I actually showed you guys how I blend my scents. Well, one thing that I thought about that it was kind of not necessarily difficult for me, but I had to really just sit and think about was, okay, how do I refill my scents? Because this is, as you can see, it's not full, but it's definitely not empty. So my first thought was, okay, well, how much of each fragrance do I need to add in? Again, and I like to say this up front, I am not an expert. There may be an easier way out there to do this, but this is what, and I'm going to adjust you guys too, just a tad bit so that you can actually see what it is that I am doing. Okay. So I have my notes here, which I'll move over there out of the way. But what I found was I had to come in and refill these often. So what I did was took my 2 cents, and you have to know what your, and I told you this in my previous video, you have to know what your formulas are. So it could be a 50-50 mix. As you can see, this container is a lot bigger than this container, so I can't just pour it in. So what I did was I found out, I turned my scale on, and I measured it just the way that it is, just to see how much was in here. This measures 375 grams. So instead of me using the 375, I always give myself some wiggle room just in case, I need to make something like on the fly. So I take off about 25 grams. So in my mind, I know that I have 375, but I'm only calculating for 350. That's just something that I do. You don't have to do that. And I did the same thing for this one. So it shows 200. Well, it's moving around. It's showing 208, 209. So again, I took off 25 for that as well. So, wait a minute. There. So then what I did, because there's a lot, well, not a lot less, but there's less in this container than it is in this container. What I did was divided the amount of fragrance oil that I would need for my largest candle. So this is my largest size of my candle. And it doesn't matter which scent you got. Well, I guess technically it does, depending on how many fragrances you have within your candle. But for me, this particular candle holds 396 grams. So my formula for this particular candle says that I use a certain percentage of this and a certain percentage of, when I say this particular scent, and a certain percentage of this scent. So what I did was I divided the percentage that I needed to see how many of these candles I could get. I don't know if that makes sense or not. So to put it simply, to say, okay, I could, there's 20 grams. I can get, I have 20 grams of this scent in this candle each time that I make it. It may be a little off. I'm just throwing a number out there. And so what I did was divide that number by the amount of oil that is in this container. So 20 divided by I think it came to like 186. I can't remember the exact amount. So 186. So that told me that I could do 13 candles. So what I did at that point was say, okay, if I can make 13 candles out of this oil, then I need to make 13 candles out of this particular scent as well. So because of the blend. Now, it doesn't matter the percentage right now. We're just looking at the blend. We're doing these 2 scents. So that's what I did. So I multiplied the amount of blend So just say it would be 80%. I took that 80% and I multiplied it times 13, and that told me exactly how much fragrance oil I would need. Now that is the long way of doing it probably, but that it just made sense to me. It works for me. So that is what we're doing. I have my numbers already for my scents. So, and actually I don't like this scale, so I will be switching this one out. And now I'm just checking to make sure that both scales are calibrated fairly. Yeah, that they're calibrated about the same, so that when I do my formulas, they still work, and they are. So what I do, just give it a kind of, let me get some gloves. Okay, so I'm gonna take a completely empty picture. I'm gonna zero it out. I'll take my, it doesn't really matter which one you start with. Take this, gonna check my numbers to see how much I need, and I pour. Now, if it's within a gram or two, I leave it. I don't really like stress about a gram here or a gram there. And then I do the exact same thing for my next scent. That's pretty much it. So I really didn't have to take into consideration the amount that was already in here, because I'd already calculated it. So basically it's just like me saying, okay, I want to make 13 candles. How much of this fragrance oil do I need, and how much of this fragrance oil do I need? But when I'm looking at it, I always weigh it out to see how much fragrance oil I have, and that way I can kind of see how many candles I can make out of that. So from there, put my lid on or my top on, give it a good shake, and then I do this 6 more times. But that's pretty much it. I think what I am going to do is go ahead and end the video here today, guys. Let me move you up so you can kind of see me. I'm going to go ahead and end the video. I have about 6 more scents that I need to go ahead, well actually 5 more scents that I need to go ahead and get blended. I do hope that this has helped you. Like I said, there may be an easier way out there to do this, but this seems to work for me. I think the next time that we meet, what I will probably do is make some Roman linen mist. I'll show you guys how to do that since I already have it out. That was on my list of to do today. If I get a chance, I'll come back in later tonight after my son is in bed and probably show you guys or make some things. But yeah, that is it. I do hope that you guys enjoyed it. If you did, give me a big thumbs up. Leave me a comment in the comment section. And don't forget to hit that subscribe button. And I will talk to you guys in my next video. Bye.